Hello everybody, this is Angusta Caesar, and here I have one of my ranked games, and I'm going to go over a few points as well as go over my thought process on how to play a perfect game. So this game I do pretty well and my teammates do pretty well, but I think that I really performed, really went on my way to perform adequately in this game. So here, let's talk about the matchups a little bit. So these kind of will serve as the picks and bans because I can't show you the picks and bans. But so here they first picked Rumble, and at least I think they first picked Rumble. We picked Caitlyn and Talon, and so we picked Caitlyn Talon. They picked Rumble Brand, and already Rumble and Brand, we see that they have double AP. And then it was Yorick Shinzao, and then Rammus, Misfortune, well, it was Rumble, Brand, Rammus, Misfortune, Tarek. Okay, so at this point in the very beginning of the game, I know that they have Rammus jungle, and Shinzao is a lot better duelist than Rammus. So I know that if I were to meet Rammus at his red, I could kill him. And so I plan to start red. And I also know that they have double AP, everyone on their team has some form of magic damage, and so I want to be really tanky, and I want to be able to take a lot of their magic damage. So I plan to build a runic bulwark this game. I already tell my team I want to be really tanky, I want to build very tanky, I don't want to build that much damage, and I want to build a runic bulwark. So I'm making my team aware. This is one of the points I was trying to make, is awareness and action and reaction. So in awareness, there are several points of awareness. There's positioning, items, skills, skills and summoners, and objectives. So here, kind of positioning ourselves, it's that sort of awareness, and we're putting ourselves in place
30 seconds until minions
to see where the enemy is. There's that kind of awareness. And so at this point, I don't believe that we know where anybody is. So let's do blue side. Speed this up.
Minions
See Misfortune. Know what item she started out with. Wanted a smite list, so I could go to my blue and take Rams's red. So we saw that Rumble came down this way, and we had a ward here. Nunu was able to put a ward here, so we know that Rammus didn't start red. So we know that I know that if I wanted to take his red, he would have it, or it would be here. But then we see Rammus going this way as I'm doing my blue buff, and I realize Rammus shouldn't be able to jungle that quickly, and if he is here at this point, then he must be doing a smiteless blue into his red. And sure enough, his smite is up. I realize that he does have a smite. I'm doing my blue. He hasn't started yet, and I know I'm going to finish this faster because I have red buff damage on it, but I can't steal from him because he has smite, and I'm forced to smite my blue. So I thought maybe he would gank Yorick up here, so I decided to wait in this bush and wait for him to come up this way. But then we see that Rammus is here. So this is action and reaction. So I see Rammus is here, and I believe he wants to gank Talon or do his Wraith camp. So I'm Shinzao. I have 2 pots. He has 2 pots, but I'm a much better duelist than he is. So I want to go in. And here we catch Rammus. Charge on him. He tries to fight me. Talon flashes over. Ignites him, kills him. And here we're going to display some item awareness. So Rumble has 2 wards and 9 pots. And so we know that he has these 2 wards. He hasn't put them down yet because that's all the money that you can spend at the very beginning. So we know that he hasn't put these wards down. He doesn't know I'm here. So here I reveal myself. I want to go in, but Rumble sees me. I get creep blocked. I don't get it. So waiting here, the lane's pushing. I try to go around, but nothing happens. And so I decide to go top. I ping it. I make my teammate aware of my intentions. I want them to know that I want to gank. I tell them that I'm on my way, and I see that Brand's out of position. So at this point, I think Brand's over here. but I'm not sure. I think Brown's over here, and if I come this way, the wave's over here. and the wave just started leaving base, I know that the minions won't see me, and so here we go. Brand's out of position here, he goes in the bush, denies line of sight, and I take some damage. But I managed to blow his flash. So his flash is going to be up in 5 minutes, and I take note of that. And here, I realized Rumble did put down a ward, so I just take this camp because I saw Rammus was bottom lane. He's not, since this is action and reaction, I realized Rammus is bottom lane, and so there's nothing I can do. It's going to take way too long for me to get down there to help. By that time, Nuno will be dead, so I decided to take his Wraith camp. So I see Rammus is bottom, I react, and I take his Wraiths. Take my own camp. And here I see Rumble's a little bit overextended, so I decided to punish him for it. That's a large part of the game too. It's punishment. If you don't punish players for overextending or making mistakes, then you're not going to be able to play the game appropriately. A huge part of League of Legends is to punish opponents for not doing something. So Rumble, or doing something in particular. So Rumble was too aggressive and I punished him for it. Talon is low, but I pinged that we should fight this Rumble, but I realized that there's a ward here. He hit 6. I had a feeling that Rumble would hit 6 soon and kill our Talon, but thankfully Talon lives. So I just take some HP. Talon is very low. Back to back. I decided to stay. So at this point, I decided to stay because Rumble is pushing this lane. So when you want to know, when you're thinking about when you should do something, ask yourselves the important questions. Ask yourself, where is blank? So example, where is Rumble? Where is Talon? When is blank? So when is Talon coming back? When is Rumble going to go back? Where is the lane? When is the lane going to push? Can I or can we? So can I stay here in this lane? So can I stay in this lane or can we stay in this lane? Obviously me and Talon cannot both stay in this lane because Talon has a chance of dying. But I can stay in this lane. And you want to ask yourself how. So how can I stay in this lane? How can I leech XP and not die from Rumble who's level 6? I stay behind minions and I just don't take any damage from him. Take a couple of minions and take a camp. So when you want to open up your mind to possibilities. So you want to ask yourself the questions like, so how can I gank top? Well, this path looks pretty effective, so maybe I can gank Brand again through that path. When can I gank top? Well, Brand just flashed at 4 minutes, so I still have 2 minutes before Brand's flash comes up, so I can gank him in the next 2 minutes, and it won't be up for a while. Can I gank Brand? So you want to ask yourself, can I? Or can we kill Brand? So Yorick, what does Yorick have? He has a tier, but he doesn't have a boot. At this point, Brand doesn't have a boot either, so once we see him come back in the lane, we can tell that Brand didn't buy anything but a chalice, he didn't buy a ward, he didn't buy a boot, he only has chalice, so we can gank him. And so how can we gank him? Well, he doesn't have a ward, so I can just go up river, or I could go up through this pathing right here, and I just go through the same way I did before, catch Brand out of position, and we can kill him. So those are the important questions you have to ask yourself when you open your mind to opportunities around the map. So I go back, I get a Madrid's boot, and right here, I ask my team to engage. Well, I didn't actually, I'm crazy. No, my team isn't here, but here's some item awareness. I didn't see that MF and Tarek had already come back, and MF had a pickaxe, so they did quite a bit of damage to me, took out 1/3 of my health. If I had seen this, I probably should have just come here and just taken my buffs, because the more you take your buffs, the more times they'll come up, which means the more buffs you can get per game, which increases your champion's strength. So I kind of wasted some time here. I realized this, and I immediately take my red. So here, Yorick made the mistake of proxying the lane. Even though he warded, he should have warded deeper because Rammus can bypass wards very quickly, and so he's going to die for it. And so Talon makes his way up. I see this, and even though I don't think I can help in time, I want to go and prepare blue. And so I come this way, go on Rammus, And so I noticed Rumble's missing. And so I realized Rumble's going this way. Let's slow it down here. So I realized Rumble's going this way. Brand's over here. I'm fairly sure these two can kill Brand and Rammus because Brand's all the damage. Rammus isn't 6 yet. So I want to go in here. I know that Rumble's a level higher than me, but I know that if Rumble gets over here, we're gonna get double killed. So I have to stall Rumble as much as possible. So here, I have red buff, I slow him down, I keep on stabbing him, hit him with my CC, and kind of scare him, make him afraid to go in. If he goes in, he's gonna die. And I'm a level above him, I'm a level under him, so if he dies, that'd be really good for me. So, fortunately I scare him off, and we get double kill. So here, I realized that my blue buff is really late. That it's been here for over 2 minutes. It usually comes back at 7 minutes, or around 8 minutes, because I did red first. And it's been around for an entire minute and a half, and I realized I should take it right away, so it can come up more quickly the next time. Except I realized this is also skill awareness. I'm aware of the abilities and matchups between 2 mid lanes. So Rumble was mid, and Talon is our mid laner, and Talon can be really strong against Rumble, except Talon needs to wave clear and needs to push, which means he's gonna use a lot of mana. Rumble, on the other hand, has no resource. Rumble only has heat, and cooldowns, which means he can push the lane as much as he wants, and he can poke Talon down in front of his tower over here. So I don't want that kind of pressure in mid lane. I don't want that kind of pressure on Talon, and I also don't want Rumble to roam. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be a nice guy, and I'm gonna hold off on taking blue. Instead, I'm just gonna take a couple camps, take a few minions, and wait for Talon to come back in the lane. I'm gonna give it blue because Talon can do a lot more work than I can with blue, where he could use it more in lane because of the matchups. So this is assessment of your teammates' abilities, or your champion's abilities, and the enemy's champion abilities. And you realize that, oh, it's really good if Talon gets blue. So you want to give him blue, but Brand comes mid lane instead. So Talon pushes the lane. I tell him I'm going to give him blue. I ward that to make sure Rammus doesn't come here with Brand and make a play for it. You see Rammus' top. York engages on Rumble. Although he saw Rammus was nearby, he's taunted, nothing I can do, I recall, and York dies. That was unfortunate, but here we go. So for my items, I'm preparing for an Aegis. Almost get the Endless Valor, so here I go. So I react to bottom. I see that bottom lane is really pushed while I'm at base. And I see that our teammates are fairly low, but I believe that we can kill them with my help. And I also have red buff. And I am level 7 and have my ultimate, so I believe we can do a lot of damage to them. So here we go. I didn't know it was warded here, but I want Caitlyn to bait, so I tell Caitlyn to go in. Tag comes around. He stuns Caitlyn. As I go in, I see the Tag wanted to go in, and here we go. Slow it down. So Nunu slows them. I slow them further. And then I ult the two of them back into the team. Rumble pops Nunu pops his ult, and Caitlyn pops the Peacemaker, dealing tons of damage to MF and blowing her up. So this was another assessment. So if we're assessing Taric, what does Taric have? Taric has Flash and he has Exhaust. So if Taric were to Flash, exhausting him might not have been the best, but I also don't know why this Taric didn't Flash. We had a lot of slows. I don't believe that he could have gotten away. So this Exhaust was pretty good.
Blue team double kill.
But we had Caitlyn in a really long range. I don't think Taric could have gotten away, and we kill her. So what do? We reacted to bottom lane pressure, or I reacted to bottom lane pressure, and I came to gank. We killed them. That was an action. And then we realized that Dragon's up, 2 people are dead. I didn't know that Rammus and Brand were low, but no one else is on the map, and I tell my team to ward this bush so we can see incoming enemies.